Hi, so this is the kneeling hands and knees pose. So the key features of this are that you want your knees and hips directly stacked above each other. So not forward and not backwards. Your knees are shoulder width apart and your feet are also shoulder width apart. You're going to tuck your toes under if it's comfortable. If it's not comfortable enough, then just let them point. But if you can, tuck them under. And you almost want to be pushing backwards and down, backwards with those heels. So you're really pushing those heels backwards. Then your hands should be shoulder width apart and directly underneath your shoulders. So that's too far forward. So directly underneath. If you need a mirror, you might need a mirror to have a look. Okay, and then what we're going to do is turn your fingers so that they're facing each other. So they're still, your wrists are still shoulder width apart. So you might have to bring them in a little bit. Okay, and we're going to then bend the elbows so that you're coming down to horizontal with your back. Okay, and it's not just a sinking down into the shoulders, you're thinking about your shoulder blades coming out to the side. So you're almost, as you imagine your shoulder blades slipping out to the side, you're pushing the floor away from you and you're feeling your shoulder blades activating. They're not coming up to your ears, you're bringing them backwards and downwards as in the other exercises. And just look at my chin. Can you see how I might naturally let it drop forward? I've got to try and think about bringing the back of my head towards the ceiling, as though I've got a piece of string pulling just that back section up. So I'm looking directly down with my eyes. Okay, so I'm in a nice straight line. So hips over my knees, shoulders over my hands, fingers pointing inwards. If it's too much tension on your nerves and you feel pins and needly, bring your fingers together. You can even make your fingers into fists or even come up onto your hands, okay, up onto your fists to make it easier. So if you don't like the tension in your body, then you don't need it, you can stop it. All right, so coming back down here, bending those elbows a little bit, so I'm taking my head towards the floor, and my shoulders need to be backwards and downwards, armpits towards my hips, and imagining I'm pushing my elbows out to the side and my shoulders down towards my hips. So breathing in through a relaxed throat, but through the nose, keeping my throat relaxed, my tongue relaxed, and out for 6, through the mouth, breathing in through the nose, into the ribs, remember, and out through the mouth. Keep thinking about the shoulder blades, backwards and downwards, that you creep up very easily, in through the nose. Keep stretching your neck long, pushing down through your heels, and out. All the way to the end of your breath, pause. And now you're going to vacuum, so you lift your ribs upwards and outwards. And then breathe in when you're ready, okay? You just hold the vacuum as long as you want to. If it makes you lightheaded to do this, it's because you might have low blood pressure. If you don't have low blood pressure, the ribs just aren't, the chest isn't used to getting so much oxygen. So just do slow, shorter breaths if you need to, or don't hold the vacuum for so long. The next one, we go onto our elbows. So you're going to have your hands facing in front of you and tucking down onto the elbows. Again, just check that you haven't lost your hips over your knees. So your hips come over your knees. You might have stepped forwards, the elbows are under your shoulders, and your hands, if you can, don't let them cross, bring them out so that they're also as wide as your elbows. So you're getting a rotation, and then shoulders backwards and downwards, so you're taking your shoulder blades towards your pelvis, you're taking your armpits down towards your hips, and your neck shouldn't be looking at the end of the mat. Your eyes should be focused on the line between your elbows, okay? So you're pushing constantly your chest away from the mat, and you're almost pulling your eyes away from the mat without tilting your head back. And you're making sure that you don't drop your pelvis, so keeping that pelvis nice, your back nice and flat. And again, breathe in and out. You won't have such a big breath now. Well, it's harder to breathe because your lungs are more restricted. All the way out. In for 3, all the way out for 6. Your shoulders probably feeling it now, your arms feeling it. Pause when you've got to the end of your breath, vacuum. And you've just breathed in again. So the next position, you can bring your hands on top of each other. This time you're taking your elbows a little bit further out to the side. So you're in, trying in front of you, you're in that sort of position, okay? So you went from that position to that position. And we're going to just let the head come down onto just touching the hands, okay? So it's not all fully resting on the hands, touching on the hands. Don't let your shoulders sink in. So you're pushing away from as though you're pushing your body away from the mat. So you're taking your shoulder blades backwards and downwards, tilting that pelvis flat again, so you've got a flat back, you're not letting your bottom stick out. Toes towards you, keep pushing those heels backwards and breathing in, all the way out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in for 3, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in for 3, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pause, and lift those ribs outwards and upwards. And breathe when you can, and then come up and shake your hands out. So you should be feeling this not only in your core but in your shoulders, in your arm muscles. It's going to make you nice and strong. And there we go.